Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. Whose income is relevant when we talk about child support? Well, there's a child support formula that the court uses in order to determine the amount. The formula takes into account the income of the father, the income of the mother, the amount of overnights, the amount of children. Those are basic things that they take into account. Notice when I said the income of the father and the income of the mother, I didn't include the income of the guy that the mother recently married. I didn't include the income of the father's parents because they're loaded and they got all sorts of money and he's going to get some later on. I didn't include that. I didn't include that because it's not really relevant at this time. Now, when we try to set child support, we're basically going to look at what the husband makes. We're going to look at what the wife makes. We're going to look at who's got the custody. How many overnights with mom? How many overnights with dad? How many children? How many children are we supporting? That's what we're going to look at. Now, it could be that money, for example, that belongs to the grandfather or an asset that belongs to the grandfather, it could become relevant support at some later point in time. If, for example, that asset begins to pay an income to one of the people whose salary is relevant. So if, let's say, dad inherits something or is the beneficiary of an income-producing property or asset of some sort, and now it's actually showing up in his tax return. He's actually paying money on it. Now, instead of making $100,000, he's making $180,000 because he's getting that passive income which is flowing in. Well, that will become important because the court will take into account his income. But notice what happened here. It's not that we're taking the income from the grandfather and we're calculating that in. We're only calculating it once that income becomes the income of one of the parents. So when we talk about what's relevant in terms of the whose income is significant for child support, we're going to be talking about the income that is directly the result of the passive or active activities of the parents. That's what we're talking about. Similarly, if dad has a certain income, $50,000 a year, or mom has $30,000 a year, but they remarry and they remarry high-earning spouses, you could say, well, maybe that should change the number. Or maybe the number should lower if the recipient all of a sudden is living high on the hog because they married some rich person. The answer is no, because we don't look at that. That person may come and may go. That money may be relevant or irrelevant at some later point in time. We judge the support based on the income of the payor and the payee. And the payor and the payee are the parents. It's possible sometimes where there's a guardianship or another exceptional situation that other factors may come into play, but the general rule is going to be you're looking at mom, you're looking at dad, you're looking at how much money he makes and how much money she makes. How many children are there? And then we look at the overnights. And that's basically how your Michigan child support formula works. If you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.